is the potential for an uptick in anti-abortion terrorism. Since 9/11, billions of dollars have been spent on sniffing out Islamist terrorism, while for decades, multiple presidential administrations, both Republican and Democrat, have largely neglected the white supremacist and anti-abortion movements, allowing them to proliferate and strengthen. If Roe is overturned, anti-abortionists may believe they not need to hide their threats to the remaining abortion services, just as Trump supporters believe they no longer need to hide their gutter racism. This situation requires a response that links the white supremacists and anti-abortion movements. The reproductive justice framework is especially useful to address this connection. I was one of 12 African American feminists who came up with the concept in 1994. We demanded that activism for abortion rights expand to the human right to have children and parent them in a safe environment, a right particularly denied to poor women who are disproportionately of color because of the poverty caused by racism and misogyny. Reproductive justice helps close the gap between these siloed oppressions, combining fights against population control, white supremacy, and neoliberal policies. Because Make America Great Again beliefs contaminate all political issues. We will not succeed by isolating abortion from other human rights issues. Responding to the hydra of far-right terrorism requires this intersectional approach, which goes beyond the tactic of brandishing symbolic coat hangers. First, we have to take white supremacists seriously, on the right and on the left. While few progressives would debate the prevalence of white supremacy, even fewer admit to practicing its handmaiden, white privilege. Second, we need to address the needs of those on the front lines of reproductive health movement. Abortion clinic workers, who are often women of color, don't have their needs prioritized, including the post-traumatic stress of working under the threat of terrorist violence and often have to conceal from friends and families what they do. Third, we need intersectional monitoring of the overlap between the white supremacists and anti-abortion movements, so we can convince federal and local authorities to prosecute these activities as terrorism. We must also prioritize informing vulnerable communities of this complex threat rather than assuming that the government will take care of it. Reproductive justice enables us to work in solidarity with movements like Black Lives Matter. For example, the same way Rosa Parks joined the board of Planned Parenthood after she ignited the Montgomery bus boycott. Parks understood intersectionality long before the term was coined. Both movements she represented faced violence through threats, arson, and murders, and she recognized a common cause. With the rising tide of neo-fascism in America, we face a familiar foe. To defeat it, we will need a unified movement for human rights and justice.